Hi, this is Kerry Artek with Wicked Stocks, bringing you the daily Apple report for Monday, June 5th, 2023. Before I click on the charts, please click like, subscribe, share the content if you would with friends and colleagues, and check out wickedstocks.com, where we offer a full suite of analytical videos, both daily and weekly, just like this. Daily Triple Q, Daily SPY, weekly analysis in the S&P 500, NASDAQ 100, the long bond ETF, the TLT, as well as two individual stock picks every week you never see on YouTube that cater to what I would call the long-term swing trader, 3 to 5 weeks out, to the near-term investor, 3 to 5 months out or so. We put out two a week. So check it out, wickedstocks.com. We offer a 5-day free trial. So if you don't like what you see, you can bail within 5 days at no cost to you. Let's jump to the Daily Apple Report, weekly chart. Take a look there. And still, long-term buy signal emerged 5 weeks ago, had a 3 to 5 week target at the all-time high of January 22, 182.94. We came very close to testing that actually last Friday, rallied to within 1% of it. I didn't underscore that 1% zone for this particular resistance level because I consider it to be a mere near-term hurdle on the way to a long-term objective that is still at 219.84. So 182.94 may contain weekly buying pressures, and from here we could fall back over the next 2 to 3 weeks to 170.51. Now I will give you the signals for that make that look probable. But for right now, we remain bullish. And in fact, I'll jump to this chart here that if we do close this week above 182.94, we could see meaningful price acceleration into the low 200s, 199.10, rising pretty steeply. It could be a rally similar to what took place coming off that January low to the February high, an accelerated move that could play out if we close above 182.94. We had 4 weeks of consolidation after the buy signal, and we pushed through that last week, gapped above it really, and we're now in the process of testing 182.94. 182.94, able to contain weekly buying pressures, but don't fall in love with that area as a long-term resistance zone. I mean, if you are, day traders for sure, 3 to 5 day swing traders, yes. 2 to 3 week swing traders, yeah, I say you can cautiously enter a short trade, but just know, in anticipation of the low 170s, but just know that I am expecting a violation of 182.94 as an eventuality, and it may well be this week. Now, if today I still have rising channel resistance on the daily chart at 186.12, and so if we push through 182.94, we could test 186.12 intraday, but I will say the likelier outcome is a settlement above 182.94 indicates 186.12 for Tuesday. 186.12 may well contain weekly buying pressures. As time goes on, and I'm talking like even into later week, as this channel top pulls away from the static 182.94 level, I will then probably begin calling 186.12 just a session containment level. Because if it's Thursday of next week, Friday of next week, and we're clearly above 182.94 by several points, and we've yet to violate 186.12, I will begin sort of re-emphasizing 182.94 as a new support level above which secondary buying pressures can play out. As I mentioned, into July, August, we could see 199.10 pretty quickly, which is rising at a pretty steep pace. Keep in mind, 219.84 remains a ultra long-term objective that might be realized by the end of the year if we close this week, Friday, above 182.94. But back to the day itself, yes, I've got 186.12. If we push or open above 182.94, I don't expect to see that. We could actually get snagged for the day at 184.23. There's not a lot in here. In terms of Apple, I like to throw a number your way at least every point, as long as it's a real legitimate trend line or Fibonacci level or channel formation. But there's just not a lot here. We are in uncharted territory. Once we push through 182.94, the next clear target, 186.12, could be real as intraday, but it probably would take a couple of days for that to play out. Now for the day itself, 180.30, we did finally close. We did close above it actually by a hair on Thursday, continued higher on Friday. It is our intraday support. Now, I've reduced it from a 2-star to intraday support level only because, above which 182.94 in reach, but below which I don't think this thing's going to come unraveled in a big bad way until or unless we were to close today below 178.79. So I will say that if we break or open below 180.30, you can see on the right, 178.79 in reach. Here's a blown up chart, 178.79, a new 4-day channel bottom, able to contain daily selling pressures. This is the point, I think, that if we close below 178.79, that would also obviously be below Friday's low of 179.26, which is the move high so far, following that January low. And so, whenever I see the settlement below a low of a significant high, and it's not a significant high yet, but if we do close below 178.79 today, I think that does pivot the market south. Not only then expecting a retest of this 176.59 horizontal structure that held very well last week, but once again, I've reduced this to intraday only. I'm emphasizing 178.79 as our downward pivot point into next week. This is at least for Monday. Things may change depending on new highs and such as we move into Tuesday, Wednesday. But for today, closing below 178.79, also below Friday's 179.26 low, does pivot the market south into later week. And I could see a complete unraveling back into the low 170s again. We've got new channel bottoms. I say new based in part on Friday's high, 173.28, 171.96. This area all precedes our long-term support on that weekly chart at 170.51. And on the daily chart at 170.32, you can see that all well down here. I don't expect to see this area this week. I do think, though, as I said, if we close below 178.79, we could test, say, 173.28. Potentially 171.96, both rising into the 172 handle, this rising into the 174 handle as the week goes by. So these are climbing. I think this is a realistic 3 to 5 day downside target. But that would be a counter trend sell signal, a counter trend move. The move right now is still bullish long term. So this would be a very short term sell signal in the midst of what remains a long term buy signal. And so they don't always play out. When you have a counter trend indicator, the chances of them completing that move as might be anticipated is less likely than, say, a buy signal in the midst of a bull market. And so that's why I emphasize closing above 182.94 would be a buy signal, a secondary buy signal in the midst of a long-term buy signal that occurred 5 weeks ago above 170.51. Closing above 182.94 at the end of this week. 199.10 is our next realistic objective, and that could be within 3 to 5 weeks where we could top out on a monthly basis. I don't think there's really much left to say. I'm going to leave it at that for Monday's Apple Report. Please click like, subscribe, share the content if you would, and check out wickedstocks.com. I'll be back tomorrow with Tuesday's Apple.